Hello, welcome back to How Haven. Yes, good news. I was able to nail my vaccine appointment in less than 36 hours from the time I began eligibility. The not so good news is I have to wait over a month to get it. The best news is there's a lot of do's and don'ts I've gathered just to share with you. So here are the top 5 tips to getting vaccinated quick. Tip number 1, pre-register and pre-plan. Registering and appointment hunting are 2 separate activities. Registering requires you to complete a pre-vaccination screening form and answer questions that are recommended by the CDC. This form is intended to make sure that you qualify for eligibility when it's your turn to get the vaccine. The form also keeps track of each individual's record for getting vaccinated. This ensures that if you're getting a 2-dose vaccine, the second dose comes from the same manufacturer as the first dose. Makes sense, right? This info also provides stats on where we stand in the U.S. regarding the total vaccinated population. That's important too. Searching for the appointment is a separate part of the process. You can register in advance through an overwhelming number of programs across the country. Registration will require you to complete some kind of authorization, and sometimes in 2 or 3 stages, just to make sure you are who you say you are and not a bot. Once your registration is in place, at the moment you turn eligible to sign up for a vaccination appointment, all of the bureaucratic bits that were involved in the actual registration process will be behind you and not part of the work, worry, or wait in setting your appointment. You will have simplified the vaccine application process for yourself in advance. Plan ahead. Decide in advance which vaccine you prefer if you do have a preference. If you prefer getting only 1 dose, then the choice is obviously Johnson & Johnson. Will you be getting a vaccine for someone who is under 18 years old? If so, the only choice at the time this story was written is the Pfizer vaccine. That's because both the Moderna and the J&J vaccine have only been approved for 18 and above, while the Pfizer vaccine can be administered for teenagers as young as 16. Decide on a vaccination location in advance. Sort out how far you're willing to drive to get to a vaccination and what areas you're willing to travel to. If you're in a state like Rhode Island, there's not really a huge travel distance. But if you live in states like Texas and California, you may want to be selective about how far you're willing to travel. Keep in mind, in some states and localities, residents or employees from one area are not eligible to get their vaccine in a neighboring area. You'll want to make sure you check on this before you settle on your final vaccine destination. If you confirm access to your preferred vaccination site ahead of time, when it's your turn to schedule a vaccine appointment, you'll be ready to hit the ground running for the road trip. Tip number 2, apply using multiple methods. It's good to look for vaccine appointments through multiple methods. And here, primarily, you've got 2 options, a voice call or the internet. For voice call, a 211 information hotline or something similar is commonly used by many states, counties, territories, cities, and other area jurisdictions. Some people have found success making phone calls to get their appointment. It all depends upon how available the operators are to answer the phone lines. Some localities have invested significantly in their ability to field large volumes of calls, shout out to West Virginia, but some have not. This means you could be on hold for over an hour or may be forced to request a callback, and that callback may never come. Hey, that would have been me if I hadn't gone online as my first number 1 strategy. That's it for part 1 of top 5 tips to getting vaccinated quick. If you're ready for part 2, continue to the next video. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button below and also subscribe to the channel. And if you have any comments or questions about things you'd like to see in a future video, mention it down in the comments section below too. Thanks. Until next time, this is your How Haven guy. Take care.